millions of Americans learned to cook from a teacher with no face, no voice, and only a few lines of instruction. That teacher lived on the back of a box. Before recipe videos, food blogs, and phones balanced against flour jars, a cereal package, soup can, chocolate wrapper, or syrup bottle could tell a nervous cook exactly what to do next. And some of those instructions became bigger than the products they were designed to sell. One recipe made apple pie without apples. Another turned canned meat into something that looked like a holiday roast. And one dish created in a corporate test kitchen in 1955 is still argued over at Thanksgiving tables today. But the most interesting part is not that these recipes survived. It is what they taught. At first, the package said, "You can do this." Then it said, "You can get the same result again." Later, it began saving something more valuable than ingredients. And eventually, some of those commercial recipes were repeated so many times that families stopped thinking of them as advertising at all. They became tradition. That transformation is the real story. Because when millions of households follow the same 8 or 10 lines, a package stops being just packaging. It starts becoming an unofficial cooking school. And the first lesson that school taught was confidence. Ritz Mock Apple Pie may be the strangest place to begin. Mock apple pies existed before Ritz crackers, but Ritz helped popularize a cracker-based version during the 1930s. The basic idea was almost unbelievable. Crackers, sugar, water, cream of tartar, lemon, cinnamon, butter, and pastry. No apples. The crackers absorbed the hot syrup and softened. Lemon and cream of tartar supplied tartness. Cinnamon and butter supplied the aroma people already associated with apple pie. What fascinates me is not the illusion. It is the lesson hiding inside it. A missing ingredient did not have to cancel dessert. For a family watching every dollar or living through a season when fresh fruit was expensive or hard to find, substitution was not a clever internet hack. It was a way to keep the table feeling normal. Picture that pie cooling on a kitchen counter. The crust looks familiar. The cinnamon smells familiar. A child cuts into it expecting apples and finds something close enough that dessert still feels like dessert. That is a small victory until money is tight. Then small victories become the architecture of everyday life. The same kind of confidence appears in Rice Krispies treats. By the late 1930s, Kellogg's was promoting the now familiar combination of crisp rice cereal, melted marshmallows, and butter. Melt, stir, press, cool. No mixer, no thermometer, no oven. A child could help. A first-time cook could succeed. A tired parent could finish before the kitchen became another problem. And that matters. Because the strongest home recipes are not always the recipes with the most technique. They are often the ones that make success feel repeatable. Cornflake oven-fried chicken taught a similar lesson in savory form. Crush the cereal. Dip chicken pieces in milk or egg. Coat them with crumbs. Bake until the outside turns brown and crisp. The cook avoided a skillet full of hot fat, splattered grease, and the constant attention that stovetop frying demanded. The cereal supplied texture, the oven supplied consistency. We like to romanticize old-fashioned cooking as if every family wanted to spend more time at the stove. They did not. They wanted dinner to work. Jiffy spoon bread casserole, often called corn casserole or corn pudding, became beloved for the same reason. The company's current version combines corn muffin mix, whole kernel corn, cream-style corn, butter, sour cream, and eggs. Then bakes until the center firms and the top browns. It is inexpensive, portable, and forgiving. That makes it perfect for the places where American home cooking becomes public. Church suppers, potlucks, reunions, and holiday tables. And once a recipe moves from a package to an index card, then from one neighbor to another, something important happens. People stop remembering where it came from. Karo pecan pie followed that path. Canned pie existed before branded corn syrup. But Karo's own history shows the company promoting a corn syrup version in the 1930s, helping standardize a filling built around syrup, sugar, eggs, vanilla, and pecans. The nuts rise, the filling sets beneath them. The result is glossy, intensely sweet, and recognizable from one kitchen to another. The bottle was not merely selling syrup, it was helping define what the finished pie should taste like. Hershey's chocolate cake offered another kind of lesson. The familiar cocoa cake formula uses flour, sugar, cocoa, eggs, milk, oil, vanilla, and hot water added near the end. That final liquid can make the batter look alarmingly thin. But hot liquid helps the cocoa disperse through the mixture, and the loose batter bakes into a moist cake with deep chocolate flavor. To an experienced baker, that is technique. To a beginner, it feels like trust. The batter looks wrong. The instructions say continue. You continue, then the cake works. That is how a package begins earning authority. Baker's German sweet chocolate cake turned that authority into celebration. The name did not come from Germany. It came from Samuel German, who developed a sweet baking chocolate for bakers in the 19th century. In 1957, a Texas homemaker's cake recipe using that chocolate was published in a Dallas newspaper and spread nationally. The cake itself was rich, but the coconut pecan frosting made it unmistakable. Evaporated milk, egg yolks, sugar, butter, coconut, and pecans were cooked until thick, then spread between layers and across the top. It looked elaborate. It tasted like an occasion. And here is the first important shift in the story. The package had taught people they could succeed. Now it began teaching them that success could be predictable. That difference is bigger than it sounds. Confidence gets you to try a recipe once. Predictability gets you to buy the same product again next week. A cook remembers which pie set properly, which cake stayed moist, which sauce did not break, which dinner the children actually ate. Over time, the brand stops feeling like a sales choice. It starts feeling like evidence. I know this works. That may be the most powerful sentence any food company can earn. Velveeta made that promise almost literal. Traditional cheese sauces can split if heat, fat, and moisture fall out of balance. Processed cheese products use emulsifying salts that help fat and water stay together more smoothly when heated. Modern Velveeta still contains ingredients such as sodium citrate and sodium phosphate for that kind of stability. Cut it into pieces, warm it gently, and it melts with remarkable consistency. Pour it over macaroni, spoon it onto broccoli, turn it into a dip. For a confident cook, that may feel like a shortcut. For someone who cannot afford to throw dinner away, it is insurance. That is a part of convenience cooking nostalgia often ignores. Failure costs ingredients. Failure costs time. And in a tight household, failure can cost more than pride. Bisquick compressed several baking decisions into one box. Instead of measuring flour, leavening, and fat separately, the cook could begin with a prepared mix. Add milk, make a soft dough, drop spoonfuls over simmering chicken and broth, and steam them into dumplings. No rolling, no cutting, no separate measuring of baking powder. The box could also become biscuits, pancakes, coffee cake, and other quick dishes. It was not only convenience, it was knowledge that had already been portioned out. Minute rice pushed the same logic toward the skillet. Brown meat with onion. Add tomatoes, water, and seasoning. Stir in quick cooking rice, cover the pan. A few minutes later, the rice absorbs the liquid and turns separate ingredients into one complete meal. Change the meat, change the seasoning, Change the canned ingredient. The basic system stays the same. What I notice here is that these products reduce something we rarely discuss in food history: decision fatigue. The cook did not have to invent dinner from nothing. She only had to choose a path. Eagle brand sweetened condensed milk turned chemistry into something that looked like magic. Mix condensed milk with lemon juice and the acid helps the milk proteins thicken. Pour that mixture into a crumb crust, chill it, and a creamy lemon filling begins to set. Without the long custard work many beginners feared. No complicated stovetop timing. No heavy baking on a hot summer afternoon. The product had already concentrated part of the labor. No baked cheesecake used the same emotional bargain. Cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, and whipped cream or whipped topping could be mixed, spooned into a graham cracker crust, and chilled. Add cherry pie filling, and suddenly a dessert with relatively little technical risk looks ready for a diner display case. It is not the same thing as a dense baked cheesecake. It does not need to be. Its promise is different. You can predict the ending before you begin. Easy fudge recipes did the same for candy. Traditional fudge can turn grainy when sugar crystals form at the wrong time. Mid-century shortcut recipes using evaporated milk, chocolate, and marshmallow creme made the process much more forgiving. The mixture turns smooth and glossy. It can be spread into a pan, cooled, cut into squares, wrapped in waxed paper, and carried to a school fundraiser or given to a neighbor at Christmas. Think about the pressure hidden inside that little square. Holiday food is not just food. It is a gift. If it fails, the failure feels personal. A reliable formula removes some of that anxiety. Quaker Oats Meatloaf brought the same reliability to an ordinary weeknight. Dry oats mixed into ground beef with egg, onion, tomato sauce, and seasoning. As the loaf baked, the oats absorbed moisture and helped hold the mixture together. The slices stayed cleaner. The center stayed tender. Leftovers could become sandwiches the next day. This was not glamorous cooking. It was practical engineering. And practical engineering mattered even more when the refrigerator and pantry had to stretch until payday. Underwood deviled ham belonged to that world. The little can of seasoned ground ham could sit on the shelf until lunch needed to happen fast. Spread it on white bread. Mix it with mayonnaise, mustard, or relish. Spoon it into celery or tomatoes when company came. The same product could move from emergency lunch to party tray simply by changing the presentation. And presentation mattered. That becomes obvious when we look at molded gelatin salads. To modern eyes, gelatin filled with vegetables, fruit, cottage cheese, or other savory ingredients can look bizarre. But in the early and mid-20th century, refrigeration changed what home cooks could prepare and serve reliably. Cold molded dishes looked controlled, modern, and precise. The mold came out of the refrigerator cold and bright. A plate went on top, someone flipped it and hoped, then the shape released. For a moment, the table looked futuristic. So by now, the box had taught confidence. It had reduced failure. It had even helped define what modern food should look like. But the next lesson was more powerful than all of those. Watch what begins disappearing from the instructions. Chopping, measuring, watching a pan, making a second sauce, cleaning another pot. The most valuable thing these products saved was not flour, meat, or sugar. It was time, and not abstract time printed on a recipe card. I mean usable minutes inside a real evening when someone is hungry, somebody needs help, the phone is ringing, and dinner still has to happen. California dip became famous in the 1950s because the formula was almost too simple to call a recipe. Onion soup mix, sour cream, stir, chill. Serve with potato chips. That was it. Its genius was not complexity, it was social speed. A host could create something people actually wanted to eat in minutes. No sauce, no chopping, no last-second panic. And when guests arrived, the dip looked like the plan all along. But party food was only the beginning. The recipes that changed everyday life were waiting for weeknights. Campbell's chicken and rice casseroles used a simple system: rice, chicken, condensed soup, liquid, seasoning, a covered baking dish, and time in the oven. The meal could take a while to bake, but active cooking time was short. That difference changes everything. A 90-minute recipe can still be a time-saving recipe if the cook only works for 10 of those minutes. The other 80 can belong to homework. Laundry, a bath for a younger child, a phone call, or simply sitting down, and this is where the history around the kitchen matters. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, women's labor force participation rose sharply from the 1960s through the 1980s. But paid work did not instantly erase older expectations inside the home. Dinner still had to appear, children still needed care. And in many households, the woman was still expected to make both happen. Convenience food did not erase that burden. It made the burden easier to survive. That distinction matters, because calling these meals lazy misses the economics of time. Tuna noodle casserole is a perfect example. Cooked egg noodles, canned tuna, condensed mushroom soup, milk, and peas go into a baking dish. Crushed crackers or potato chips cover the top. The edges bubble. The topping turns brown and salty. The meal is inexpensive, filling, and flexible. No peas? Leave them out. No crackers? Use chips. No time to build a white sauce? Open the soup. The recipe adapts to the household instead of demanding that the household adapt to it. Then there is the retro sweet and sour chicken formula, built from bottled dressing, onion soup mix, and apricot preserves. It sounds less like a recipe than a dare, but the logic is easy to understand. The preserves bring sugar and fruit. The dressing brings acidity and seasoning. The soup mix adds salt, onion, and savory depth. In the oven, those shortcuts become a glossy sauce that looks like far more work than it required. That is not culinary magic. It is ingredient stacking. Spam with pineapple used a similar strategy for presentation. A block of Spam could be scored, covered with pineapple rings dotted with cherries, brushed with a sweet mustard glaze, and baked until the surface turned dark and sticky. Today the image can look comic, but I think laughing at it misses the point. For a household that wanted the feeling of a centerpiece without the cost of a large ham, presentation created ceremony. Food nourishes the body. Ceremony protects dignity. A modest ingredient could still arrive at the table looking like an occasion. Lipton onion soup meatloaf brought that logic back to the ordinary week. Ground beef, eggs, breadcrumbs, water, and a packet of onion soup mix created a loaf with onion flavor and seasoning already spread through it. No chopping onions, no measuring several spices. The cook could remember the method even when tired. And that is where repetition begins to matter. And the first time a family makes a branded recipe, it belongs mostly to the company. The 20th time, that is no longer so clear. Chex Party mix shows how that transformation happens. Chex cereal, butter, Worcestershire sauce, seasonings, pretzels, and nuts were baked and stirred until every piece carried the same salty coating. But nobody remembers party mix only as a formula. They remember the smell, butter and Worcestershire drifting through the house, a football game starting in another room, a card table being unfolded, relatives arriving with coats still cold from outside, someone being told not to touch the snack before the guests arrive, and stealing a handful anyway. Years later, people may forget the exact measurements, but they remember who always stirred the roasting pan. They remember which aunt added extra pretzels. They remember the bowl, the room, the people. That is how a branded formula starts losing its corporate edges. The company may own the trademark. The family owns the story. And this is the final stage. Confidence becomes habit. Habit becomes ritual. Ritual becomes tradition. Nestle Toll House cookies may be the clearest example. Nestle dates the story to 1939, when Ruth Wakefield, who ran the Toll House restaurant in Massachusetts, used pieces of Nestle's semi-sweet chocolate in her cookies. The chocolate pieces held their shape, the recipe spread, and Nestle later carried the Toll House formula on its packaging. But corporate history cannot explain why the smell matters. Butter and brown sugar creamed in a bowl. A child waiting for the spoon. Chocolate disappearing into the dough. A baking sheet coming out while the centers are still soft. Someone burns a finger because they refuse to wait. Commerce can distribute a recipe. It cannot manufacture what happens around the oven. Families do that, which brings us to the dish I promised at the beginning. Campbell's says Green Bean Casserole was created by employee Dorcas Riley at its Camden, New Jersey headquarters in 1955. The dish was originally called Green Bean Bake. Its basic logic could hardly be simpler. Green beans, condensed cream of mushroom soup, a little milk and seasoning. Fried onions for crunch, bake until hot, then add more onions near the end. That simplicity is exactly why the recipe matters. It could be repeated. It could be remembered. It could survive a crowded holiday kitchen. One family adds cheese, another doubles the onions. Someone insists on canned beans. Someone else insists on fresh. Eventually, people begin arguing about the right version. And the moment people argue about the right version of a recipe, something has changed. It is no longer just a sales tool. It has entered culture. That brings us back to the teacher with no face. The back of the box taught millions of people that cooking could be broken into steps, that a beginner could succeed, that a product could remove the most dangerous point of failure, that ordinary ingredients could become celebration food, that a tired person could still put something warm on the table. But every shortcut makes a trade. A baking mix can replace knowledge of leavening. A condensed soup can replace a sauce. A seasoning packet can replace tasting and adjusting. A processed cheese can replace the need to understand why an emulsion breaks. That does not make the shortcut bad. It makes the shortcut worth understanding. And I think that is the real lesson these old recipes still have for us. Cooking knowledge is not proving that you can make everything from scratch. It is knowing what the shortcut is doing for you. Use the condensed milk pie, but learn why Lehman makes it thicken. Use oats in meatloaf, and notice how they hold moisture. Use soup in a casserole. Then learn what a simple mushroom sauce is doing underneath. Make the package recipe first. Then make one decision yourself. Change the seasoning. Change the texture. Replace one shortcut. Keep another. The goal is not to cook like convenience food never existed. The goal is to recover choice. There is no prize for making every sauce from scratch after a 12-hour day. There is also no wisdom in depending on a packet simply because nobody ever showed us what the packet does. The useful middle ground is awareness. Use convenience deliberately. Keep the time it gives you. Keep the dishes your family loves, but keep enough knowledge that the shortcut remains a choice instead of becoming the only road you know. Because convenience becomes limiting only when we no longer understand what it replaced. So here is my challenge. Tell me the one package recipe that lived in your house. Not the one you think is historically important. The one you can still smell. Was it tuna noodle casserole with crushed chips on top? California dip beside a bag of potato chips? Toll House cookies cooling on the counter? Green bean casserole with twice as many fried onions as the recipe called for? Put that dish in the comments and tell me who made it. Then, if you want to take the experiment one step further, make that recipe again this week exactly the way your family remembers it. Afterward, ask yourself 2 questions. What did the shortcut save? And what did it replace? If stories like this make you look at ordinary food differently, subscribe to the channel. Because we are not only bringing back forgotten recipes, we are uncovering the history, pressure, invention, marketing, and human choices hidden inside meals people once thought were too ordinary to remember. Sometimes the instructions on the package were only 8 lines long. But the life built around those 8 lines could last for generations.